Hello, welcome to Nostalgia Cape. We are back. It is already 2024. Wow. I just wanted to start the year off right with a little showcase, I suppose, of sorts, of the new Jak and Daxter mod, Jak and Daxter: The Forgotten Lands. Now, the concept of this is nothing new. This is Crystal Cave, the 2022 mod, if I'm correct in that. A year later, we got 2 extra levels expanded on top of that, and today I wanted to show you my favourite parts. I streamed it a couple weeks ago, and yeah, I wanted to show you my favourite parts of that stream. Keep in mind I haven't finished the whole mod yet, but I've played the majority of the content, and I do want to go back at some stage and just play the rest of it. It is fantastic, I love it. I'm not going to critique it too hard. I've seen other people do that. I think that's the job for them. I'm not great at critiquing. I've said this before in another video, but I am blown away by the authenticityness of this, right, like a better word, authenticityness of this mod. And yeah, today I just wanted to showcase what I thought of it. Before we get straight into it, I just want to make it clear that me playing this right here is a blind playthrough. I have not played this before besides the Crystal Cave content, but there is a little bit of new stuff in there. And I'm just going to kind of cut between it, because this isn't a review or an archive or anything like that. This is its own little video, and yeah, so we're just going to get straight in, have a look. So you start in Guys of Rock, cool stuff, and then when you get to the end of Guys of Rock, you go to the Crystal Cave. Once in the Crystal Cave is when we get our first look at some of the new voice acting.
Great idea,
Oh, there you go.
genius. Now we're stuck here with no way back.
AI Daxter. It's so cool though, and look, we got new content. It's all I ever wanted. I'm in my happy place. To my understanding, that slow Daxter is a completely AI generated Daxter, and I think there are plans to, I'm not 100%, but I believe there are plans to get voice actors to overdub those lines, and it's more of a proof of concept and nothing else, right? Keep in mind these are free, like these are people working on this for free. They're not, they're putting nothing but time, and I don't believe they're getting any money of even donations or anything like that. And I think that might even be a legal mammoth to tackle, I'm not too sure, but yeah, this is completely made by people who just want to make it. So I can understand wanting to put in some AI stuff for your work in progress project. I'm not going to get into the ethics of whether they should do that long term. I'm not really the guy for that. I do have some pretty ruthless opinions on AI and AI voice acting and stuff, but I do think it's a great way to, getting a little sidetracked, but I do think it's a great way to have your proof of concept or your game that's in development, you know, utilize that AI technology in any form for that sort of thing, for your kind of vertical slice that you're showing people, as it were. So anyway, as we go through Crystal Cave, you'll notice the design is kind of similar to that of Spider Cave. It's got all sorts of eco though, and it does seem to have this sort of mysteriousness to it. As you go through it, you realize there's an abandoned and crashed Precursor ship that looks very similar to the Jak 3 one, and there is all sorts of crazy lore to it by the looks of it. I've looked into it a little bit. It does seem to be a legitimate, thought-out lore by the creators, and yeah, as you go through it, there are different sections for different technologies and different eco types and stuff. So in the Precursor ship itself, there is blue eco charging the ship. It seems to be malfunctioning, but you can get attacked by it, and which is kind of cool, you know. These Precursor platforms are quite nice. I love to see this kind of stuff. This is kind of what I mean by the authenticity of the level. It seems like it kind of belongs in the Jak and Daxter universe. As you keep going, there are more. There's a section that is covered in red eco, I think. It's like red and yellow eco. And there's a bunch of dark eco pulling down the bottom. And if you look at it, there's green eco crystallization everywhere, right? And that's just for show until you get to the point where you need to use Crystallized Green eco, which is the first new eco-type expansion we see. So there are 3 eco-type expansions I have found so far, and the green one gives you a temporary invincibility, but also gives you 4 full sets of health, 5 actually, because it takes you go to 100 instead of 50 for your HP, and that is basically 5 lives, which is not seen in the Jak game, so it feels like it's an authentic sort of post-Jak 1 DLC sort of thing. Expanding the rules of the game, mechanics and whatnot. So yeah, you go down here and Crystallized Green Eco, I do wonder, that is a thing in the Lost Frontier, I believe, and Crystallized Green Eco in general. So it is cool to see some stuff that has been, I suppose, authentically inserted into the lore of the games, be used again, albeit in a better way here. And I'm not saying that they're sticking to rules or anything, but it seems to me personally, I'm not sure if this is true, that they are sticking to some sort of, lore that's been established kind of stuff. Which is kind of cool to see, even if it is Lost Frontier, it is, as I understand, canon of sorts. So it's cool to see that they're kind of sticking to, as far as I can tell, they're sticking to some sort of rule set. So yeah, this is a very great use of a new mechanic, being able to walk on the Stark Eco. I think it's pretty sweet. Gives me a lot of ideas for what I want to do in Jak 2. You've heard all about that if you've seen my Jak 2 mod video. Yeah, so this is pretty sweet to see. It gives me a lot of excitement for what we can do in the second game. Moving on further, there is another cave, but then we take the mysterious vehicle, the gondola, to the next stage, and as you can see, it's not actually equipped with animations of Jak to move on it, but this is a work in progress. But yeah, very impressive when we get to the next stage of the level. It is when I'm talking about authenticity-ness. I'm using that gag still of the levels. It does really come into full play here as you get to what is dubbed the Crescent Top. And my god, just look at this. This looks like it belongs right in the game. There's something about this carefully constructed piece of work here. And it's such good AI too, like, it's so sad because Warren Burden, I think, who did Samos, is, like, he's long gone, he's long passed away, I think 2013 or something like that. And it's just, no, it's like eye-watering to hear that, it's amazing. No. And I mean, I don't know, he did such a good job with the voice as well. It's, maybe it's... I don't know, I don't really know where I stand on AI voicing, but man, it's a good use of it, I think, but... I don't know. That's not a topic for tonight. It's a lot of philosophical debate right there. Fine more to be toyed around with this. So you get to the top of the Crescent Top, you have this amazing viewpoint of this huge area that's got to be like 3 to 4 times the size of something like the Precursor Basin or something like that, and you got to free roam it, and there's a lot going on there. You'll find there is a base underneath, and all sorts of things happening. In the way of enemies, there isn't much enemies. I do believe there is a restriction on which enemies can be placed in which levels. We'll get a few from Spider Caves and some from the Central Beach and stuff, but I believe, this only shows that with time there will be workarounds and things to put more enemies into levels, but even without the enemies, this is a nice kind of peaceful area. I do think Crescent Top does work well as a primarily peaceful area. Just look at this, you got this amazing Precursor architecture over here, then you got this visually stunning Precursor robot over here, and it's sort of reminiscent of something like Mountain Pass or Precursor Basin, and you can see there is a teleporter for your vehicle. You can A-grab Zuma to be teleported to, and that is something that comes into play at the next stage of the level. So it is big enough for both foot gameplay and vehicle gameplay. And yeah, it's been carefully constructed for both types. It doesn't feel like a chore to get around on foot, and it doesn't, it seems good enough and vast enough to get around on vehicle. I haven't tried it yet, but it does look like it's the next part, as I'll show you in the next stage. You climb up the top of these platforms, which is a great use of these what I call heaters. I don't know what they're actually called, from Lost Precursor City, and it is nice to see a lot of the Precursor technology be used in one spot, and find uses for some of the stuff we didn't necessarily see uses for in the original game. And it is quite a lot of imagination and I think love that's gone into this kind of thing. You go down here to the bottom of the base, and you find you've landed in a Precursor base, which is just like the Jak 3 Precursor technology, and it's well crafted. It's lovely to see this kind of thing. I'm kind of astonished. I don't have a lot of words for this, but it does seem quite nice to have something like this in the game, you know, something that's so, I mean, it's called the Precursor Legacy, and the whole franchise is about this Precursor mystery, and it's interesting to see so much work going into keeping that concept alive, you know. So if we keep going forward, I lost my mouse. Where are we? So if we keep going forward, this may be the best platforming I've seen in the game to date. This is a lava segment with Precursor platforms, and as you can see, it is very well crafted in terms of what kind of jumps and movement you have to make. It doesn't feel too challenging, and it feels very satisfying once you've actually made it. And I believe it's one of the few times you actually get to stand on, if not the only time, you actually get to on-foot gameplay lava in the Precursor Legacy. So it is very nice to see all this come into play, and adds to a bit of context as to why, you know, no one's been down here, I would suppose. And my only real question, I guess, is why the Precursor's working next to lava, but I suppose, you know, in the here it is, the Precursor launcher. Looks like it's straight out of that Jak 4 concept, you know, the one, right, where the Precursor robots following Jak and Daxter up this, one of these things. I feel like they've taken inspiration from so much actual Jak lore out there. It's interesting to see, but Energy Bay, the beach, is where we see our next type of eco. Oh, sorry, I think there are only two types of crystallized eco. I was thinking there were the yellow one as well, but I don't actually think there is. But the red one is really cool. It gives you an extra spin boost, kind of like the Crash 4 spin boost. But also, when used in a vehicle, it gives you an extra vehicle speed boost, which makes me think the green eco must work the same way. And it's interesting to see these ideas come into play, these mechanic changing, game changing sort of things come into play. And as you go through Energy Bay, it is nothing short of an amazing half on foot, half on vehicle combat level with enemies and lurkers to play around with. And you've got all sorts of challenges. You've got a ring challenge again. You've got stopping the lurker bombers. So it's a populated area, and you know, very impressive use of the AI voice lines as well. Samos, Jak and Daxter as well all have some amazing. Even though it is generated by AI, the script feels authentic to what Precursor Legacy would have them say in such a scenario of them being lost and stuff. There's so much going on here, and it really does invoke that sense of wonder, and it doesn't feel fake. You know, it feels like it could belong in the you know, obviously it's not, you know, a legitimate cut level or anything, but it feels like it is, and it feels like it belongs in that sort of category, right up there with like Yosemite or something like that, in my opinion anyway. And so on top of all this, there is one last thing I want to show you before we end today. This is the zoomer section, and when you see this, you're going to be blown away like I was. My live reaction here was this. Just like Crash 4, it's actually amazing to see the sort of evolution of this idea come full circle. But also it works on the zoomer, which is nothing short of an amazing expansion. So yeah, all in all, I think these levels really speak for themselves, but I thought I'd have to showcase the potential of what is happening here. So thanks to Kuitar and HackKid for making this, and I'm sure there are many others that have you know, given ideas and feedback and things like that over the time of this development. It is still being worked on. This is a proof of concept, I believe. Let me know what you think of it down in the comments below, and if you want to talk to these creators, HackKid and Kuitar, or anybody else, you can join the, I believe anyone can join the Jak and Daxter OpenGoal official Discord community. It is a great place to be to see concepts and mods and things being developed every day. It's an inspiring community. You know, there's just making some great things, and I love seeing what's going on there. For me, though, we'll be definitely playing some more mods in both Jak 1 and 2, and I do want to get into some live streams of some of the things I'm going to be working on, and for OpenGoal, development-wise, more to come on that front. Yeah, but this is spectacular stuff, and I'm very happy to have you know, been a part of the history, I suppose. As sentimental and silly as that sounds, I haven't done anything to contribute to this, but I feel like you know, being able to play this and even just comment on it, even in, you know, such a way that just displays what I think about it, you know, kind of makes it kind of sentimental and goofy and whatever, but it kind of makes me like part of this process, especially if they're looking for feedback and all that thing. So yeah, I'm very happy to be obliged. If you want more of this stuff, please let me know. I don't know how to end these things ever, but yeah, have a good one, and I'll see you in the next one.